are now listening to Lauer Road Radio.
Hey, welcome one and all to the #1 podcast, winter, spring, and fall. Talking sports for the thrill of it all. Hey, talking life, but we're killing it all. Jason and Dan with the master plan. These are dangerous men with the mic in the hand. Bonafide winners everywhere that we go. You're a part of the team.
Lauer Radio.
Dad light, thug light, bright lights in sight. All right. Dad light, thug light, bright lights in sight. All right. Yeah. Dad light, thug light, bright lights in sight. All right. Bonafide winners everywhere that we go. You're a part of the team.
Lauer Radio.
Let's get it.
At Tanagra, When the Walls Fell, this is Dan Owings coming at you another time for Lauer Road Radio with my co-host, as always, Jason. Studio's a little bit different today. Jesse's here doing what Jesse does,
Taking
as
off
always.
Jason.
Preston was not able to make it tonight. We had to switch some things up, so we were sorry Preston couldn't be here. Stella is on the ones and zeros tonight, so that's good. Back to the old job. And Harrison is sitting in the guest chair.
Mm-hmm.
He's our guest.
First time for everything.
Your oldest male child.
Yeah, he started working with me.
Finally made it.
Well, I take him to work with me.
Mm-hmm. I don't actually work.
No, he actually works like 10 times more than I do.
I was going to say, yeah.
Well, more than you do.
Yeah. And actually more than most people there.
Okay.
So
how you doing?
I'm doing good. You don't look so good, though.
Well, not going to lie. It's been a day. So I got my cold compress here. Put this in the freezer a while ago. I've kind of got like a perfect face shape in it. It's kind of like nice, just like that. So what happened is yesterday I was pulling weeds.
As you do.
As you do. And, yeah.
You have a loft.
I do have a loft.
So where the weeds?
The weeds were at my church. That's what I get for volunteering.
Pastor got you pulling weeds again.
I know. Like, what is he doing? So
I avoid him at all costs.
You should. So
does he not know you have better things to do than pull weeds?
Apparently not.
And there's nobody at the church that can do this other than you.
There's nobody that does it other than me.
Yeah, we all ignore the text messages that say, "Hey, it's time to come pull weeds." No one else responds.
Why don't you do that? Yeah. So anyway, it was an impromptu weed pulling.
Oh.
I walked outside. I was just going for a walk, and walking, and I'm like, I'll walk around the old church. It's not Sunday, but I'm feeling religious today. So I decided to walk around the church. And we're at that time of the season where all of the weed issues have really been taken care of. There's not a bunch of weeds everywhere, but the ones that haven't been taken care of are the ones that we never saw that were under bushes, other plants, and now they're poking through. And so the only weeds that exist are big weeds that have finally found their way through. And I see one, I was like, I'll just go over and grab it because, I'm a good citizen.
Yeah.
And so I get that weed, and then I look over. Oh, there's another one. There's another one. And then an hour later, I literally have my arms are full of weeds, like this high. You know? I'm like, what am I going to do with this? So I just threw it in the pastor's office. Like, you deal with this. So
here's 10% of my weeds.
Take it. So everything's fine. Whatever. I wash my hands when I'm done, because although I didn't see any poison ivy, I've learned you wash your hands. And then last night, day was fine. Last night when I was going to bed, I felt this weird tingling in my lips.
Yeah.
And I told Erica, I was like, this is not good because this has happened before. And when I woke up, my face was swollen shut. And she's like, we should go get some Benadryl. I'm like, I'll probably be fine. So she's like, are you sure? I feel like we really should go get some Benadryl. And
a tip. Listen to your wife.
Well, that's a good tip. So I said, no, I'll probably be fine. So the exact words when I got out of bed this morning, Erica was in the living room. I think her exact words were, "Oh my God, your face," something like that.
So nothing out of the ordinary.
just a regular old Thursday.
I was like, okay, again with this. She's
We've been married for how long? Every day.
And I'm like, where are you? I don't know. So my face was, I wasn't swollen shut, but it was, and I looked in the mirror. It was not good.
No.
So I thought, well, no. So last time this happened, it was worse last time. But one of the reasons it was worse last time is because I said, well, let's just give it 24 hours. The swelling will probably go down. I woke up the next morning, it was worse. And it hurt. Everything was like... So I said, I'm going to urgent care. So today I just said straight to urgent care. Let's just go do it. So they gave me some steroids and some Claritin and some Benadryl. I'm going to took those. Apparently, there's a divide in the medical community, Jason.
Mm-hmm.
I know where you fall in this divide because you just take it all the time. But the RN that I spoke to, he said, take the steroids twice a day, take the Claritin in the morning, and then at night before you go to bed, take the Benadryl. You shouldn't take them at the same time. You know, it's not the best thing, but you could cycle them. In your case, it might be a good idea to help the swelling get down for a few days. So we said, okay. So we went to the... Where do you go to get the medicine?
Pharmacy.
Yeah, there it is.
It wasn't a street pharmacy.
That comes from the Greek word pharmakeia.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Yeah.
Which is what the witch doctors dealt with. So, anyway, so
did your pastor tell you that?
You know what? He can say it. Nobody can check up on him.
No,
you know what I mean? Like,
because we don't know
If
Greek.
you say so. Like, I don't know how. I don't speak. I don't like speak Greek. I know a little Greek.
Like agape.
No, I know a little Greek. He owns a deli in Columbus.
Yeah. I know gyro. That's my Greek.
You didn't even pay attention.
No.
Okay, that's fine.
Listen, and for the record, I'm trying to do these shorts, okay? And when you talk over top of other people, I'm not pointing anybody out.
Nobody's pointing.
Nobody's
any
pointing at
fingers.
anybody. But when you talk over other people, it really hurts the shorts.
Yeah, and the shorts right now are the best thing we got going. Specifically, that one of Jesse where he was getting pumped up for the show. That is so stupid. How popular that is.
I know.
How many views are we at now? Probably
lot.
like 1 billion.
Yeah.
It's so dumb. Every day, because I get notifications on Facebook, and every day I was like, it's like 75 new comments on this guy and shares and
Yeah.
Anyway, so I go to the pharmacy.
Okay, real quick, while we're on the shorts thing.
Yeah.
This really is a thing. This sermonshots.com, it's the website that we're using. Mm-hmm. Over all of our platforms, we have over 1 million views on our shorts.
Really?
Over 1 million. And I'm telling you.
Well, the one has 1 million, though.
We have probably 500,000 on the rest of them.
Okay.
But, I mean, it's a significant number. And so here's the thing, for real. If you have any online presence at all and you want to increase that online presence, this Sermon Shots, if you utilize it, we're averaging 2 or 3 subscribers a day.
A day.
And I'm telling you, for a small-time operation, which we are.
We're a mom and pop.
We're mom and pop.
Yeah,
but if you're a mom and pop and you want a subscriber a day.
I'd like to be a brick and mortar podcast one day. Wouldn't you?
Go to sermonshots.com. No joke. Use Lauer Road Radio at checkout, and it will go well. It will go well with you.
It will. You'll get more than you bargained for.
Yeah.
So I go to the pharmacy, as you do.
Yeah.
With
as
my
you
prescription, as I do, apparently. And, I had Erica go in because I was like, I'm hideous.
You tried the drive-through.
I don't want anyone to see me. I'm hideous. So I had like a hood. I look like Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis Kennedy after her husband was shot.
Okay.
Because of the grieving. Yeah.
No, I get it.
Okay. I mean, that's right. Like, I feel like statute of limitations.
It's been long enough.
We can finally joke about our 39th president being shot. Was he our 39th president? Somebody look at it. What number of president was JFK?
Only president was here. I'm guessing 36.
30. I say 30. 36 is a good guess. I said 39. I'll just shoot.
Abraham Lincoln was 16.
That I know.
Yeah. George Washington?
Numero uno.
He was the 35th.
Oh,
I was close.
But I was there to kind of get you close. You know, like this is like playing disc golf, and I threw it 100 feet and got you 5 feet from it, and then you just dumped it in and took the credit. Am I right about that, Jesse?
That's exactly how it goes, yeah.
Jesse?
Yep.
He plays Frisbee golf.
I played Frisbee golf with him this week.
Yeah.
We could talk about that. I think what Jesse called, Jesse, tell me if I'm wrong, I had what he referred to as the worst throw he's ever seen anyone throw.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
It was terrible. He almost hit a car.
And the
On the road.
was
Not even close.
Not even close. It wasn't even in the right direction. It was
He threw 163 degrees the opposite direction of where the basket was at.
Yeah.
It was a far throw. It just went into the
Oh,
road,
yeah.
into oncoming traffic.
And you're like, where do you think you were aiming?
yeah.
If I had been aiming for oncoming traffic, it would have been a great throw. Like, you know.
Yeah. The best.
And I have aimed for oncoming traffic before. Now, who hasn't? So anyway, we'll talk about Frisbee golf later. But so I go into, well, no, I didn't go into the pharmacy. I told Erica, you go in.
Yeah.
And you talk to the people for me. I'm hideous. Remember I did that. So anyway.
Don't look at me. Shut your eyes.
I think
The children, I'm blinded.
I think I'm playing off of there was a Seinfeld thing where he was like smoking too much or something, and he was like, I don't know.
One of my favorite
Kramer.
things that you do is just quote 90s sitcoms.
I love to quote 90s sitcoms.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. I'm back on Frasier, baby. I'm about. Hey, baby, I hear the blues are calling. Toss salad and scram. You got Niles. You got Daphne.
Okay,
you got
stop.
Ross,
Nobody
you
cares.
got
It's
Martin.
almost as bad as Murder, She Wrote.
Yeah.
Nobody cares.
That was pretty bad. So bad.
Man, I'll tell you what, Frasier, the third time watching it straight
Better
through.
than the second?
Yes. And this is like the third time since I've been an adult. That doesn't count like any reruns that I would have caught in the past.
no.
This is the third straight through.
Consecutive.
Yeah. But the thing about it is every once in a while I'll have it on like a Saturday afternoon or something, and I'll fall asleep and wake up. And so I'll miss a couple episodes,
Yeah.
but I'll just keep on barreling through. And so then when I go back to rewatch it, I'll be like, oh, I must have been asleep on this episode.
Yeah.
I don't remember the one where Niles opens up a coffee shop.
Yeah.
You know. I don't know if that one exists, but I don't know why they didn't make it, because it's like begging to be made.
Yeah.
So anyway, she goes into the pharmacy because I was like, I'm hideous. And so anyway, so she goes in, and apparently the pharmacist, that's his name, right? He's the
Mr. Farm,
pharmacist.
yeah.
Big Farm. We
Big
know.
Farm,
Come
yeah.
on. That's a thing. We joke a lot, but that is a thing. So so she goes in, and he goes, listen, I don't know who told you this, but we do not recommend that you cycle Benadryl and Claritin. It is a bad idea, not good for your heart. And it is you should not do it under any circumstances.
Yeah.
You know, he's like, I don't know why they told you to do that, but you should not do that. And she came out and told me that. She's like, it's a good thing I talked to him. I was like, I didn't talk to that guy. I don't know that guy, but I liked the doctor. I liked the cut of his jib. We're going to do this. And so I...
Listen, he's practicing medicine. This guy's just dealing medicine.
Exactly.
Who do you think knows more?
What does the pharmacist know about what the medicines do? He knows how to count. That's why he's
If
good
he
at
knew
his
what
job.
it did, he would be a doctor.
Exactly. And then we'd all respect him a little bit more. But he's not a doctor. So I'm going with the doctor. Mama called the doctor. And the doctor said...
No more monkeys jumping on the bed.
So
I'm hideous. She goes
so
in, you get your medicine.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
So she comes out. We had that conversation, and so I'm going to take Benadryl tonight. So so now I'm all drugged up and ready to go. And while she was in the store, I had my hat and my glasses on in the car, you know, and while she was in the store, I was Googling anti-inflammatory foods. So while the prescription was getting filled, we went to Meijer because we had a $10 off coupon.
Bingo.
No big deal. Whatever. That's the kind of coupons we get in the mail. I don't know if they send that to the riffraff.
If you in a loft, you get a $10 coupon.
So we went to Meijer, picked up some anti-inflammatory produce. The problem was at checkout, once you knew it, our total was $46.
Oh.
And in it, well, the problem was the coupon is only if you spend $50 or more.
Oh.
And Erica's like, what are we going to do? I was like,
Snickers bar.
So she's like, I really wanted some M&Ms last night. I was like, well, that gets us $1 further. What else are we going to do? She's like, you want those chips? I was like, I don't know. Like, so somehow we ended up spending probably, $30 more to get $10 off.
Yeah.
They know what they're doing there at Meijer. So, so I've been eating anti-inflammatory foods. I've been drinking a lot and taking my medicine, and I'm on the mend. And
Do you know how many milligrams of Benadryl you're taking?
I have no idea.
Because for years, I would take 100 a night.
Is that a lot?
It's like 4 pills.
I don't know a lot of things. I don't.
Yeah.
There's a lot. There's a lot of stuff I don't know.
Nobody disagreed.
Yeah, I was just waiting.
I don't know a lot of things.
Okay. Like they took my blood pressure. I don't go to the doctor very often.
Yeah.
Last time I went to the doctor was last time my face swelled up.
Yeah.
So,
Should be 120/80.
well, whatever it was, she told
She
me
immediately sat you down.
Sir, put your feet above your head.
there was a big red button on the wall. She pressed it immediately. She's like, "Sir, your blood pressure is so bad, it's actually contagious, and I'm gonna have to put some distance in between you and
Would
me."
you put this mask on?
So, no, she could have told me any two numbers. She could have been like, "It's 3,000 / 32," and I'd be like, "All right, okay,
all right.
I don't know what is good or bad,
Yeah.
So she told me what it was. I don't remember the numbers, and she said, "Well, it's blah 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 over blah de blah," and I was like, "Is that good?"
Yeah.
And she said, "That's excellent." So
Oh,
I
okay.
felt good about that.
Yeah.
I feel like the doctor saw my numbers, and he was like, "This guy's got a strong heart. He can
Yeah.
handle a massive overdosing of allergy medicine." So, so that's my day. I'm feeling better. So I apologize for, the constant cold compress, but it just makes me feel better. It just, it makes me happy.
Honestly, that picture you sent to the group text earlier, it was hideous.
It was.
It looked like a catcher's mitt.
Yeah, I did.
It was bad.
It was really bad.
It hurt.
At first, I didn't recognize you. Like, I'm looking at I'm like, what am I looking at? Oh, that's Dan.
It was ugly. And so I'm glad I'm doing better. I thought I was going to have to do the whole show with glasses tonight. So in solidarity, Jesse's like when you know someone who has cancer and you get your head shaved,
Yeah.
for them. That's what he's doing with the glasses tonight. Except I don't really need the glasses.
Except the difference is, like, they went to go get tested for cancer. They didn't actually even test for cancer. He's like, I was just going to shave my head.
I'll go ahead and shave. You don't have to.
Nobody asked you to do that.
Nobody wants you to do that.
Does that mean I also get to park in handicap spots?
No.
No.
That's not what that means.
You do, though.
Solidarity.
You do, though, right?
Yes.
Okay.
No, I've never done that.
Good for you. So anyway, that's what my day has been up until this point. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. So
No, you seem pretty cranky today.
yeah, no, I'm looking at my things. I've got things.
Because I got a couple real gems in there.
I mean, I've got some gems. Like, for instance, let's list some things.
Oh, I wanted to do the Mount Rushmore of allergic reactions.
Okay,
I
let's
forgot
do that.
about
Let's
that.
do that.
Poison ivy.
Savannah's on the mend from that right now.
I think that's when it's like
Yeah.
allergic. Most people are allergic to poison ivy.
Yeah.
Bee stings.
Ooh.
Most people are
bee stings.
bee stings.
Okay.
Most people are allergic to bee stings. On some people are highly allergic to where it's like you got to keep the EpiPen with you.
Yeah.
But some people are just mildly allergic.
Yeah.
So I would say bee stings,
Are
poison
we
ivy.
considering poison oak with poison ivy, poison sumac?
I
Like
think
all of
I
those?
think
All
it's
the poisons.
poison vines and
Yeah.
whatnot.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say so.
Are
What
we
else you
doing
got?
like shellfish?
Well, this is allergies. So yeah, I would say shellfish counts. That's a big
Peanuts.
Oh, nuts.
one. Peanuts.
Peanuts.
Isn't that made up though?
I think it is.
I think
When
I
I was
got
a-
in big trouble one time.
When I was a kid, nobody was allergic to peanuts.
No.
And now everybody's allergic
Anytime
to
I
peanuts.
hear a mom say that their kid's allergic to peanuts, I'm like, your kid's going to be a pansy when he grows up.
So do you know what happens? I heard this. I have this on good authority.
well, I have some info too.
Carly Pugh told me this.
Okay.
She's smarter than any one of us. ever.
Mrs. Farmer's wife.
Yeah, she's the Farmer Bob's wife.
Farmer wants a wife.
Is
that was
a
a
thing?
TV show.
Farmer wants a wife.
It was a pretty good TV show, let me tell you.
It was
There's
like a
one
reality show.
Yeah, so here's the thing. So this was like
Is this
back,
your Netflix suggestion?
No,
of the
it's
week?
not. This is
Okay.
like 30 years old, but if you can find it anywhere, watch it.
Uh-huh.
So there's this farmer like in Iowa. He lives on a farm. He
As
drives
you
a
do.
tractor. He does the farmer stuff. They
I
bring
feel
in
like we should do the Mount Rushmore of stereotypical states farmers are from. That's next. Anyway.
Okay. So anyways, there's this farmer and they bring in like 20 city
And
girls.
we still have another Mount Rushmore to close up, the allergic reactions.
Okay.
So we've opened up 2. We got to close
There's a
both
lot of
them.
stuff vining out
They're
at this
just
point.
they're just out there, but we'll go back.
Okay,
Anyway.
so listen. Single farmer.
Uh-huh.
He works on a farm. He's ripped. He's fit. But he can't find a wife because
I don't
there's,
think your typical farmer is ripped.
this guy was ripped.
Well, I believe it, but
And he's
I'm
like-
saying that maybe this guy wasn't a farmer, Jason. That's kind of what I'm getting at.
Okay, listen, I wholeheartedly believe that he was a farmer. Okay.
All right.
And they bring in 20 city
Well,
girls.
if you who believe that the Earth is flat and that the moon is inhabited by Bigfoot, then-
Reptilians.
okay,
Okay, so anyways, they bring in 20 city girls
city girls.
Yeah, and
why
they're
do they
like-
bring in country girls?
because
You know what? He should have gone on FarmersOnly.com.
I think it's before Farmers Only. This is
Maybe
how
this
long
is
ago
what
this
prompted.
was. Probably.
You don't have to be lonely.
FarmersOnly.com.
Okay. You're making me nervous. Yeah.
I feel like I'm on the power team. Remember those guys?
Yeah, I've got something on that.
I used to
later.
work for a guy that was on it.
Oh, really?
Okay, let's finish the Mount Rushmores.
Okay, first of all, we're gonna finish the Mount Rushmore of allergic reactions. We got 3. We got bees, poison, vines, shellfish.
And I said
we're gonna do
nuts.
peanuts. Oh, I was gonna talk about the peanuts thing. That's
What's
what I was
the
going to say.
peanuts thing? Are we splintering off again?
We're splintering off
do
again.
The states of the
we
farmers.
will do that. We will do that. But,
hold on to that.
The reason we talked about farmers is because Carly is married to a farmer. There's a lot going on.
Farmer's
here.
wife.
We got a lot of loose ends, but we will tie them all up. That's the that's the Lauer Road Radio promise. Actually, Carly called me out the other day on being extremely narcissistic, which if you know me, you know. I was telling a story about when I was a kid growing up, and I said, out on Lauer Road Radio, and she goes, "Did you just call the house that you grew up in Lauer Road Radio?" I'm like, yes, I did. I was like, okay, all right. It's
Pretty big deal.
These shorts are getting to my head, Jason. So anyway, she said, now, and she listens to the show, so she can correct me if I'm wrong. And I probably am. But she said she's heard stories about moms that they won't eat any peanuts when they're pregnant.
Yeah.
Which actually increases your child's chance because they're not been exposed to it.
Yeah.
And they're going to wait. They wait till they're like 5 years old and they'll give them peanut butter, but they literally drive to the emergency room. They go to the waiting room of the emergency room, give them a little bit of peanut butter and see if it affects their kid.
Who does this?
Hover helicopter moms.
Okay.
Like that's something
That's
people
a thing.
do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Never heard of that.
Because they're so afraid that their kid has a peanut allergy. They won't let them 10 feet near one until they're 5 years old and then bring them to the emergency room, give them some peanut butter and see if they die.
So can I tell you one thing that I heard?
Yeah.
I
That's what
cannot.
this whole show's about, Jason. Just us saying stuff.
So there was. There was a 700 WLW.
Oh, love 700 WLW.
It's fantastic. The big one?
Scott Spears?
No, not that guy.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, so listen.
We're going to talk about him.
So many splinters. You got to keep it together.
Keep it together.
So listen, 700 WLW, they used to do an afternoon show where they goofed off a lot like us.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm sorry. Now I know what you're
Like
talking
Billy
about.
Cunningham was one of them. Do you know Billy Cunningham?
Is that Randall's brother?
Yeah. And except this guy was little and white.
What's that?
Huh?
He was
Billy
There could
Cunningham.
never be a white guy and a black guy that are brothers. That's impossible. We've covered that.
Okay, listen.
He could be Randall Cunningham's
Listen,
brother.
stop. I'm going to go crazy.
Dude. He's
I'm a
not
little
feeling
amped up.
today.
I know.
He is.
Listen. I've got so much stuff.
Serenity now.
Serenity now. Okay, so listen. They would say when they approached a topic that was controversial, they used to say, well, Grandpa used to tell me.
Oh,
and then
sure.
they'd pass it off on Grandpa. So it wasn't their knowledge, it was Grandpa's knowledge.
Okay.
So I'm going to say that now.
All right.
Well, what Grandpa said was that they took vaccines and they grew the vaccines on the peanuts. And then when they vaccinate their kids, somehow the peanut gets into their body. And that's what triggers it.
Somehow this all goes back to George Washington Carver and his plot to kill all the little white liberal kids in America.
Basically, that's what
Grandpa said. Yeah.
Okay.
We're not saying that.
We're very pro George Washington Carver. If we've never said it before, Mount Rushmore of black guys that invented stuff using peanuts, he's right up there. He's at least in the discussion.
Okay. States.
Stereotypical farmer states.
Was there another Carly thing?
No, that was it. Just
Okay.
her story about the crazy helicopter moms.
Okay. Is she one?
No.
Okay.
She hardly watches her kids at all.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they're actually out roaming the streets right now.
Carly, it's a joke.
She's not a helicopter mom. But that's a good thing. We need tough kids in this world. Because this world is tough.
And if you got to make
if you
it.
raise... Bob did get that ATV, by the way, for his kids.
Did he?
And Charlotte's been driving it around. It scares me to death. She's doing...
He should send a picture of her
Bob
in
goes...
it.
Bob's idea of like when Carly's like, I got to go, will you watch the girls? His idea of watching the girls
Toss them
is
the keys.
he watches golf inside the house. And then, he tosses them the keys and says, go have fun. and they literally...
On the farm.
Yeah, but he's not completely irresponsible. Tori, their youngest, who's like 2 years old, they did put her baby seat in there. So if she is strapped in.
Is there a roll cage?
I have not seen it
Or is
yet.
it
I've just
open
heard
face?
stories from Abby. Abby said Charlotte was driving her around because she was babysitting them, and she said she was driving around the property, and Charlotte's like let the power go to her head, and Abby's like, "Okay, I'm done. Let's just stop here." She's like, "Not yet." She kept on going. So it's like, yeah. So not a
helicopter mom.
parent.
States where farmers reside.
Stereotypical farmer states: Iowa,
Yeah.
Nebraska,
Kansas.
Kansas.
Ohio might be
No.
No?
Indiana. Illinois.
No. Maybe
Yeah.
Illinois, not Indiana.
Oh, for sure, Indiana. Are
Over
you crazy?
Ohio?
Yes. Have you ever driven in Indiana?
Yeah,
It's
have you ever driven in Ohio? Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, they're all the same. They're all just one state.
It's kind of true.
Mount Rushmore of states that are all in one state. No. Iowa, Nebraska, Kansas.
That's
Definitely.
the big three.
Those are the big three. And then you're talking, do you want to go Texas? There's ranches down there.
Well,
but those
ranches is
those are
different than a
ranchers.
farm.
Those aren't farmers.
Yeah.
In the southern states, tobacco farmers.
I was going to say in California, there's a lot of
That's true. You know what? California is, there's a lot of farmland in California.
Yeah.
Normally, we're as a show,
Uh-huh.
we're anti-California.
100%.
We like many of the people in California.
Okay, you need to stop being fidgety.
I'm sorry.
My anxiety
you know what?
only increases with your fidgetiness.
Jason's
feels
bad
so good.
attitude is starting to rub off onto me, Dan.
No. Normally I would agree with that, but he was not wrong about my fidgetiness.
I was fine with it.
Yeah, well, he's very fidgety.
I
And it
am.
bothers me.
I am. I have a lot of steroids in my system, so
Okay, so what's the other splinters?
I don't. Did we finish this Mount Rushmore?
Nope.
We said Iowa, Nebraska,
Kansas.
California.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
it.
Yeah, I think we tied up all our loose ends.
Anytime now, Harrison, if you want to pipe in. I mean, you are
He
in the
said
guest
the
chair.
thing about JFK, which president he was.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I think he met his quota.
I'm about a quarter of the way there.
You know what, Harrison? Just as a rule, when your uncle says something funny on a comedy podcast, let's just go ahead and laugh into the microphone.
He's hitting the mute button every time.
I don't want anyone to know that I'm laughing.
Like, that's
Well,
hilarious, mute.
You know what? That's the whole point. Is me hearing the laughter. It feeds me. I'm a desperate narcissist.
Okay, we got splinters.
I don't think we have any more.
Oh, there was definitely some more splinters. Do you remember? Were you listening? Was anybody listening?
Jesse wasn't listening.
Man, I don't want to say anything.
Okay,
I'm going to get yelled at.
Thank you.
let's.
Because I got stuff.
I got stuff. I got
Okay.
stuff. Let's do the Netflix and get that over with. Listen,
okay.
we're halfway through the show
Well,
already.
No, I hear you, but I just
hit
wasn't. Shout out another Pew reference to McKenna. Apparently, every time Bob's listening to the show, she sings along with the Netflix song.
All right.
Yeah. So, she imitates me. Here it goes.
Netflix, watch these shows with us. Netflix, or maybe Hulu Plus. Netflix, watch these shows with us. Netflix, or maybe Hulu Plus. Or maybe Amazon Prime or something like that, like YouTube or...
Jason, what is your Netflix suggestion of the week?
I've been watching a lot of documentaries.
Yeah, I love a documentary.
Today, I watched Barkley Marathons. And
That's a top 5 for me.
and another top 5,
Fistful of Quarters?
Fistful Quarters.
You watched both of those
King
today?
of Kong. I watched both of them today after work because my Netflix suggestion of the week
Whoa.
reminds me of Billy
Really?
Mitchell.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
I don't know if you've seen this yet. ESPN Plus. Do you have ESPN Plus?
No.
Okay, in the package, it's like ESPN, Hulu, and Disney, $12.99. It's a great deal.
Why am I not doing that?
I don't know why you're not doing it. There's a ton of stuff on
I
there.
do have Disney.
Do you have Hulu?
No.
How much do you pay for
I
Disney?
used to have Stella's Hulu. That was a long time ago.
That's my Hulu. She never paid for it. That was my Hulu.
It had her picture on it. Avatar.
Okay, on ESPN
Some
Plus,
sort of anime thing.
there's a 30 for 30 about the American Gladiators.
It's out.
It's out.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so there are 2 episodes. Each episode's about 90 minutes.
I loved the American Gladiators.
Listen, like we're talking 93 to about 98.
I just wanted to be on the American Gladiator so
We
bad.
all did. It was the best. It was the best show.
What was your favorite event?
Oh, well, like the idea. Okay, so lots of things. First of all, like the jousting, that was always fun for me.
Yeah.
The zip line, that was cool. Running up that little like
Oh yeah,
escalator thingy. But the cannon,
I know that was the best event.
the cannon where they have to shoot the
Oh,
target.
it was so cool.
So cool.
And ice or razor or what are those guys' names? Laser,
Malibu.
Yeah, and they're all like you have to be strong to do that.
It's like a turret gun with tennis balls.
Like
Little obstacle course.
anybody could do that.
It was fantastic. They had the game with the round buckets that you had to put the balls in.
Yeah,
You know, I mean, it was a fantastic show.
Man, that was a great show.
So the guy,
Saturdays at like 11. Is that when it came on?
I can't remember.
Was it pre or post Saved by the Bell? That's the question. I think it was post.
I think, yeah, probably post, but kind of like during. I think. So
Well, definitely
it
not
actually,
during because I watched both of them every week. And NBA Inside Stuff.
with Ahmad Rashad.
Are we talking about Rashad? Do you know how much it blew my mind when I found out that he was married to Mrs. Huxtable?
I know.
I couldn't. It messed with me for like a week. I was like, Bill must be so upset. Turns out he was cool with it.
You do your thing, I'll do my thing. That's basically how it went.
I think so.
Okay, so anyways, American Gladiators. The guy that invented it, like it predates the show by like 20 years. In Pittsburgh, there was like an ironworker union, and these ironworkers once a year would do an annual
Were
picnic.
they maybe steel workers?
Well,
It just feels like Pittsburgh steelers. You know,
It wasn't Pittsburgh; it was Pennsylvania.
Oh well, now your story's just
Did
all
I say
over the
Pittsburgh or
place.
did I
You
say
definitely
Pennsylvania?
said Pittsburgh. Rewind
We're going to
it.
go back and watch that later.
You 100%.
Pennsylvania. It was Pennsylvania.
All right,
So,
that's
anyways,
fine.
they were iron workers. They're
Okay.
part of a union. Once a year, they would do an annual picnic. Well, all this rage and frustration would build up throughout the year.
As it does.
They all come together, and when the booze get involved, fights break out. So one of the guys decided, let's structure some of these fights and some of this tension,
Yeah.
and we'll create a series of challenges and games where they can compete with each other.
Feats of strength.
Stuff like that.
Much like, what was the
I don't know.
Festivus?
Yeah. So, anyways, they were doing this on their own time, annual picnic, and it developed into a show. Well, the guy basically stole the idea from another guy.
Isn't that always the way?
Yeah. He takes it to Hollywood, makes a ton of money, and never really gives the other guy credit. And this guy that stole it is a Billy Mitchell character.
Really?
I hate this guy. Listen, I hate Billy Mitchell. That
But
guy's.
you also kind of love him.
Well, I am him
Right.
to some degree.
Sure.
So I hate that guy.
Complicated.
It is complicated. I dislike Billy Mitchell very, very much. This guy that stole the show, I dislike him.
See, this
very,
guy
very
and Billy
much.
Mitchell, they would not get along.
No, not at all.
Two alphas.
Yeah.
They can't be in the same space.
So, anyways, 30 for 30, ESPN Plus. It's fantastic.
But more importantly,
Yeah.
Jason,
Uh-huh.
if you've never seen Fistful of Quarters, stop what you're doing right now.
Well, in 20 minutes.
20 minutes, stop what you're doing, and find a way to watch King of Kong, Fistful of Quarters. Best documentary ever.
Yeah.
It's so good.
It's not even close.
Yeah.
Stella watched it with me for the first time.
Really?
Yeah. So, it was pretty exciting.
That is exciting.
Barkley Marathons is up there, too.
Barkley Marathons is great. Not that good, but it's great.
Yeah. King of Kong is the best. Fistful of Quarters.
It's so good. It's been a while. I might watch it again. I think I have it on my Vudu account.
My Voodoo. It is on My Voodoo.
When I go to my items, it's right there. All right, my Netflix suggestion of the week could be Frasier because it made me so happy to
Yeah.
turn Frasier. I'm just back at Cafe Nervosa, hanging around with Niles and Daphne and the whole crew. Eddie the dog. I love Frasier. It's actually really well written, and I won't apologize for that. It's very well written. The dialogue.
You're highly medicated also right now. So.
It's also true. So, But that's not my Netflix suggestion of the week because I've suggested that at least 20 times. My Netflix suggestion of the week is found on Apple TV Plus. It is a show called...
We're halfway through 3 shows right now on Apple Plus.
Well, get ready to add a 4th.
Uh-oh.
It's called The Mosquito Coast.
Never heard of it.
Well, the problem is, I think they had time to wrap it up at the end of the 2nd season, but I think it didn't get renewed, and so they kind of had to wrap it up.
I hate that.
I know, but it is what it is. I didn't know that when I started watching it. Now, if I had known that, I might not have started watching it, but boy, am I glad I did, because it has taken me on a roller coaster ride. So, I mean,
even though I knew I was going to be disappointed,
Yeah.
I'm totally glad.
Much like a roller coaster. You know what I mean? Like, it's literally a roller coaster ride.
Okay.
And I literally am always disappointed at the end.
Yeah. Are you caught up on Silo?
No, actually, I'm not.
Okay.
Because I am in the Mosquito Coast wormhole. So the Mosquito Coast is 2 episodes. It's about this...
It's only 2 episodes?
2 seasons. I'm sorry. 2 seasons. 10 episodes apiece.
Okay.
I think 8 or 10.
If it's only 2, I'm not doing it.
No. It's 2 seasons.
It's 2 episodes. They quit early. They
2
just
episodes,
bailed.
and I'm right in the middle of it. It's 2 seasons, 10 episodes, I think, a season, and it is very good. It's this family of 4, mom, dad, 2 teenagers. They seem to be anti-establishment.
I like it already.
They're running from the man, and there's twists and there's turns. Twists and turns. And just when you think, oh, okay, I think I know what's happening. No, that's not what's happening. So I don't want to give much more away than that. I will say, from a parental standpoint, there's some violence. People get shot sometimes. Things happen. Death is involved.
Much like real life.
Yeah. And I'm not a fan of the language of some of the characters. They like a certain 4-letter word sometimes, and yeah. But so there's a bit of a language issue in it. But as far as like family friendly,
Apart from the language, the sex, and the violence, and the drugs, apart from those things,
all I said was language and violence.
Oh, you like the other things?
The other things are not in this. Not so far. Now, watch Rod. The last episode is going to be like a straight up like, what the heck? But there are drugs in it too. I'm not going to lie.
But you're okay with the drugs?
Well, there was a scene where people were smoking marijuana. And I said, Erica, I'm going to have to educate you on this. Those look like regular cigarettes, but they are not.
Do you see how they're rolled?
Mm-hmm. That's one of your. That's not a guarantee because you can roll plenty of things up and smoke them. But chances are, this is not your standard tobacco.
Yeah.
It's the devil's weed.
It's the wacky kind of tobacco.
Mm-hmm. So
I think they call that the devil's lettuce.
devil's lettuce. So if you are sensitive to that,
The drugs.
If watching people smoke marijuana is what we call in the business a trigger for you, then you should not watch episode 3, I think,
On
of season
1,
2, I think.
Okay. Got it. Just skip
My
that one.
guess. Just go ahead and skip that one because I don't want you to be triggered. Anyway, it's called Mosquito Coast. It's very interesting.
East Coast or West Coast?
Not even.
What?
You're going to have to go to a different
Mosquito.
coast. It's the Mosquito Coast. It's not your... It's Mosquito Coast. Jason, I'm just telling you. You start watching it, you're like, oh, okay, I know what's going on. And then all of a sudden, the episode ends, credits are rolling, and if you're watching with somebody, and I hope you are, because who wants to watch TV by themselves? If you're... I kind of do too. If you're watching it and the credits roll, there's going to be a moment where it ends, and then you go... And you look at one another like, we got to watch the next one, right?
Yeah.
Because I want to find out what happened.
Yeah.
So, Apple TV Plus, Mosquito Coast, 2 seasons. That's it. The mom on the show is an actress that I often get confused with the older sister on The Wonder Years.
Oh.
She was on Alias for a while
Yeah.
and a couple other things. And every time I've ever seen her, I was like, oh, that's the older sister from Wonder Years. And Erica's
Nope.
like, no, it's not. She's like, you always think that's her. I'm like, no, that's definitely her. And then I look it up. I was like, argh. So it's not her.
Fooled again.
They look similar. I Googled it. Apparently, she got pretty upset because somebody thought she was her. So I'm not the only one
Okay.
that
Yeah.
has had that thought.
Harrison, what are you watching? What's your Netflix suggestion? You're in the guest chair.
I think both of you had the suggestion before, but we started watching Severance.
Yes.
And I like we're only 2 episodes in,
Adam
but I like
Scott.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, on Apple TV. It's great.
Severance
Yeah.
is nuts.
Yeah.
When's the next season coming out?
Hopefully soon. I don't know. We're on episode 2 with Harrison, but I'm rewatching it, and excellent. Jesse, what are you watching?
Nothing.
Are you still upset because I told you not to talk?
Yep.
I know. I could tell.
I've
You're
been,
allowed to talk.
I really am not.
Do you have any Facebook videos you've been watching lately?
No, I've been off Facebook. That's maybe why I'm a little bit touchy. I'm withdrawing
Sure.
from social media right now.
There's a guy on Facebook. His page is called Crash Cliff,
Okay.
and he does these mock-ups, these like simulations of crashes, and it'll be like a bus like hitting a bar, 5 miles an hour, boom, 10 miles an hour, 20 miles an hour. He goes all the way up to 300 miles an hour, and the whole thing crushes. It's very satisfying.
Yeah.
Crash Cliff.
I lied.
Okay.
I was kind of forced into watching a movie, but then I ended up really liking it. I think it's called First Daughter. It has
Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
no, the guy that played Beetlejuice. Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton's the president, but the whole movie is centered around the president's daughter going off to college and trying to be normal and wanting to be normal, and then she like falls in love with this guy who
I didn't
it was
see
her
that coming.
It was her RA, and she's like, oh, finally normal. Well, then she finds out that the RA
He's gay.
sorry, is one of the Secret Service members that her dad placed, and so now she feels all betrayed, and it's a pretty good movie. It's older, probably.
Movie or show?
Movie.
Okay.
Movie.
You ever walk in like next to like a friend of yours, like just down a hallway or down the road or something, and you know as you're walking, your hands accidentally touch,
Love
and
it.
then you're like, "Ooh, am I gay?" Yeah, you are.
My grandpa used to say, if you want to know if you're gay,
Jesse.
Wait. Remember before the show we said measure twice, cut once?
Yeah.
Think about what you're going to say.
Let's just weigh this one out. I don't.
Wait,
I will
okay.
beep it if I have to.
okay, wait, never mind.
All right. So, do we want to break down, Jesse? Do you want to break down my disc golf game at all? Am I better or worse than you thought I was?
Well, when you threw it into the road,
Uh-huh.
that was kind of the precipice moment for me.
That was just hole two.
Two.
Do you call them holes though?
yeah,
They're not really
Hole two.
holes though. Cages.
Yeah, baskets,
Baskets.
cages.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, he wasn't terrible.
I got better.
You got better.
I
as the
stopped
round
throwing
went
it that
through.
way.
Yeah, but
Do
it
you
was.
do you open face it?
That's what I did.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is no good for me apparently.
well, and I wasn't trying to coach anyone.
You were trying to
like,
win.
I certainly was trying to win. But there were a couple moments I was like, oh, I could kind of give him a pointer here and there, and it would have made you better.
Oh.
But I figure I would wait until the next time we played.
Okay.
Because also, I've been coached without people asking me if they can coach me, and I don't like it.
You know, where do you stand on the coaching if you're doing something like that? Let's say you're golfing with somebody they're better than you and they see something. Do you want them to say it or are you like, you keep it to yourself?
It depends on the person.
Billy Mitchell.
No, Billy Mitchell should never tell me anything ever.
Okay.
I'll tell Billy Mitchell.
What about how to make hot sauce?
From Billy Mitchell? No, I figured it out myself.
There's some
I don't need
peppers
it.
in here.
I don't need his advice.
He makes a mean hot sauce.
He does.
How about where to buy American ties?
Yes, I would take advice from him on that.
He has good ties.
What about
Well, they're American
What about
ties.
which barber to go to in order to get the best mullet?
I don't know if that's a mullet.
What is that?
I don't know what it is because it flows back. It's not business in the front at all.
It's just a party all over. I think
Did I already tell you that Ollie has a mullet now?
it's fantastic.
I haven't
And
seen
we
it.
put sunglasses on him, and we
He
tell
was-
him, oh, he rocks it,
He
doesn't he?
looks like a young Brian Bosworth.
Yes.
And
That's
that's
what
not
I
an-
was going for.
That's not an exaggeration.
The Boz.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I get him to shake it. I say, mullet shake, and he'll go, yee yee, yee yee. It's
awesome.
great.
He was
It's
born to
great.
wear a mullet.
Have you seen the sky lately?
You know what? It's quite a thing, isn't it? Because every once in a while, I'm like, I'm looking down. I'm just walking. I'm looking down. I was like, I wonder if I wonder if what's up there is the same thing as down here. It probably is. And then I just keep on walking, keep on looking down. But every once in a while, I gaze up to the heavens, and I'm flabbergasted.
Yeah,
constantly.
So the last 2 days, Harris and I, we've been going to work like at 5 a.m. So we go outside, and there's a full moon out. And I've looked at the moon for the last 2 or 3 days in a row in the morning.
And by work, you mean you just go to Home Depot with a sign that says need work?
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm looking up at the moon, and it doesn't look right. Like something's wrong. And then throughout the day, I keep on looking at the sky. I'm like, I don't know what is going on, but it's like, it's not even gray like it's going to rain.
Yeah.
But it's like off color.
Yeah.
There's fires in Canada.
Yep, Canadian wildfires.
Now listen, for the record, Harrison's my witness. I saw it before I knew it.
I believe you.
I just knew, looking at this, I'm like, the sky is not right. There is something
Erica
wrong.
was reading from a website that is not allowed on mainstream social media today. So it's your kind of website.
Yeah.
And turns out the fires in Canada planted.
I believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to do something. I don't know.
Yeah. Climate change, global warming, carbon credits.
I wouldn't want to live in a world where climate change didn't exist.
That is actually a true statement. The climate always changes.
Unless the climate was 65 and sunny. I would like the climate
Honestly,
to remain the same.
I feel like eventually you get tired of that.
No. No.
As a slightly overweight man myself, I like 65.
Yeah.
65 is nice.
That's the best. Okay, so I've got more things. Do you want to do a thing?
Well, my things are so epically good, and
Like,
we've only got a few minutes
For
left.
instance, how do you put a paper clip on? Do you clip it front to back or back to front?
Back to front.
Yeah, that's the proper way to do it.
Yeah.
You start on the back, and you pull the back to the front.
I just slide it down.
No, you can't slide it down because you got to clip the long end on a piece before you snap the little end on top. It goes long on the back, pull it forward, slide it down.
Okay. Yeah.
There's a big controversy in my office about that right now.
Anybody that's forward to back, they don't know what they're talking about.
Sometimes I do that though.
Front to back?
Sometimes I do front to back.
If it's 2 pages, maybe I'll do front to back. If it's anything more than 4, I'm a back to front.
Have you ever paper clipped a single paper?
On accident. It was a real hoot. We had a good laugh about that. Like, what am I?
Look at this. I just paper clipped a single paper.
I have noticed a car in our parking lot.
At the loft?
At the loft. We have a parking lot. Whatever. And it's been in the parking lot, and it's moved spaces. So it's, someone's in and out of that thing. I'd say for about 3 weeks, maybe a month. Never seen the person go in and out of it. It's a Montana license plate.
Oh.
I know. If you don't know, I used to live in Montana. And my family's from there.
Yeah.
In-laws. I'm family with them because the law says it. So
it's not by blood or choice.
It's a legal.
It's a legal matter.
It's
the law says
I'm their family, and they're my family. But I don't want anybody. And they watch the show. Susan, my mother-in-law, big fan. And I've always said this, Susan. You have always. There's a camera right there. You've always been like a mother-in-law to me. Always.
Montana.
So what I'm worried about is that because I'm looking for this guy. I assume he's a guy. It's a masculine car.
You would.
I know.
You would assume his gender.
It's a masculine car.
What kind of car is it?
It's like some sort of SUV, but the wheels and it's all black. It feels very masculine to me. So I've been looking for him because I want to be like, hey, I don't know, like
I used to live there.
But now it's been so long, and every time I'm there, I'm afraid that when I do see him, I'm gonna greet him. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I'm so amped up.
Yeah.
About if it was like first time, if I was just walking by, and I see a guy getting in a car, and I see a Montana license plate, I'd be like, hey, Montana, huh? Yeah, well, I lived there for like 7 years. And we have this whole conversation, and it'd be great. But now, I mean, if I see him from like 20, 30 yards away, I'm going to start screaming, excuse me, sorry. And he's going to get in his car he's going to think I'm a Mormon or something. So I'm worried. I don't know how it's going to go, but I feel like it's not going to go well.
Yeah.
I'm going to mess it up.
If you saw an Ohio car in Montana.
I always said something.
You'd do OH or you'd do something
I don't know.
like.
I just pull over. Pull over. And then when they pull over, they're like, what's the matter? I'm like, wait, what does this mean anything to you? World famous bologna sandwich. And if they say yes, then I'll be like, I used to ride my bike there. You can go. That's typically how it would go. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not a big OHIO guy.
I know, but what was I saying? If you saw
in my life, I've never prompted one.
Oh, I've prompted them all the time.
Well, I know you have.
Unnecessarily, too.
In a way, they're all unnecessary. In a really kind of meaningful, deep, true way.
Okay, so we've got like 90 seconds.
Okay.
Let's quickly do the Mount Rushmore of things old people do. Exclusively old people.
Okay. I got a whole thing about being old. So
should we save that?
I think we should save it because I got a whole thing about being old.
That's next week is the old man special.
Okay. Oh, that's good. I like that.
Yeah.
If there is next week, which this kind of thing you think about when you're old. This might be my last one.
Yeah.
Let's make it a good one. Harrison, do you have anything to add?
No.
Thanks for hanging out.
Yep.
It's been a real pleasure. This is Dan signing off for Jason, reminding you to always keep your stick on the ice and never wear the blue sweats.
Sit, Booba, sit. Good dog.
I have spoken.
Good night, Lauer Patch Kids. Was that okay, Jason?
The sunglasses bring out a side of you. It's, you know what it is? It's a confidence that doesn't sit well on him.